All right. Kavika and Sunny, can you hear me okay? Get a thumbs up. Yep, you got it all right there. You can just, yep, perfect. Good, Kavika. All right. Well, welcome to Dojo X Meditation Group, our Sangha. And tonight we're going to sit for 20 minutes. I'll do a 10-minute Dharma talk. And then we will end with a 10-minute sitting. So, to give you a reminder of the form, it's a Soto Zen form that my lineage is from. My mom and dad have gifted me this form, and I grew up with it. So it's an honor and pleasure to give it back and sit with you in Sangha all together. So thank you for being here. I feel honored and blessed to be together. When you sit in Soto Zen meditation, there's a form that you see me sitting in, and the form that you sit in, any form that you're sitting in is the correct form. There's not a right or wrong form. So whether you're sitting in a chair or you're sitting on a pillow, either way is perfect. And so what I want to offer you is that some of the things that I'll show you or teach you that you can try if you've never tried this style of Soto Zen. And Soto Zen is an eyes open meditation. So the idea that you have a gaze at a 45-degree angle and your eyes are open. You have a very broad and wide view. You don't want to be narrow or focused on anything sharp or specific. You want to always return your vision back to a nice, broad, wide vision from a 45-degree angle and nice, and I can see my hands on the side. When you take a deep breath, you want to breathe diaphragmatically into your belly. And by doing that, you're breathing at the base of your belly is your hara, or your energy point, or your tanden, or your chi in your body, and it activates that. And it's the relationship with your mind and that part of your body that is innately part of your instinct as you were born with that wisdom of your gut instinct, or your hara. In Japanese, they call it. So the form is back straight, your eyes are a 45-degree angle, you're breathing in your nose, out your nose, and then we do a mudra where your hand is come together and they sit left hand, right hand, and then your thumbs come together, and it goes 3 inches right below your navel there. And if you're sitting in a chair or something and you want to put them off to the side, that's perfect. If you want to hold them in your lap, that's perfect. But this is called a mudra, that is a form. And what I used to do is be really taut and try to be upright. And I want you to just relax your shoulders and be comfortable with the form. So that's it. You can't get this wrong. The fact that you showed up here and that we're sitting together is perfect. And feels good to have you back, Amber. Love having your presence and being next to me. And Sunny and Kavika, thank you for joining online. So we're going to go ahead and start. When we start the meditation, I'm going to ring this bell 3 times. I ring the bell 3 times, and you'll see me when I start, I hold my hand up like this. This posture right here is what's called a gasho. And we bow like this to start the meditation, and we bow at the end of the meditation. So after I ring the bell 3 times, I will bring my hands up, and then everybody else will also put their hands up, and we'll all bow together. And then that'll end the meditation, and that's how we begin the meditation. If you skip it or it doesn't feel right, that's totally okay. Just follow what feels good, and you can try out something new. When you gasho, you're saying thank you. I always say thank you for this space and thank you for this time. It's appreciating all of us being together, and it's done without words. It's done with upright sincerity, and a bow is a way of saying thank you. So I thank you all for being here, and go ahead and get into a position that feels right for you in an upright position, and then I'll ring the bell 3 times and we'll get started. So if there's no questions, happy that we're all sitting together. It feels good. So, all right, here we go. Tonight's Dharma talk, I titled it, "The Weight You Carry in Silence." And I'll never forget, it was 2008 and the economy just crashed. Me and Amber were living in Hawaii, and we had our automotive company in Marin County, California, and we had 15 employees that we were still responsible for, and that the cash flow wasn't coming in like it used to. It went from 80% cash and 20% accounts receivable to 80% accounts receivable to 20% cash. And so it was what I was feeling was it was on me to make payroll, and being the owner of the company, that was my responsibility. And I was laying in bed at about 2 a.m. and I was wide awake and my heart was racing like out of control. It was almost like I was out of breath in panic, and there was no way I was going back to sleep. I was running the story of how am I going to make payroll this week, and what's going to happen. And in that moment, I got out of bed and I went into the living room and I sat on this zafu and this zabuton and I started meditating. And what I know is true when I sit with myself, that it gives me an opportunity to set down the weight of what I may be making up in my mind, even if it's for less than a half of a breath, that I can set down the weight of what my mind thinks is happening and let it go for a second and pay attention to my breath. And sometimes I wouldn't even get a full breath in. It would be like I would only get a partial breath and I'd be thinking about it again, and the intensity would rise up in me. But as I sat there longer and longer, the gap got further and further apart, where my heart wasn't racing, and it was about an hour to an hour and a half where I was settled back down in my body without being reactive to my thinking, and I could go back to bed. And so the weight that the mind creates around responsibilities, around beliefs, around judgments, and that Zazen is the thing that you get to be with those thoughts, emotions, feelings, and the opportunity as you return back to your breath is that you get to set them down, even if it's for a split second, and not carry the weight of that being my reality. I know that I've had recently where I didn't come to my pillow, and I was up a lot of the night, and I was up thinking about stuff that was just racing in my head and activating my body, and I couldn't settle it down. And nowadays with social media and scrolling, and I found myself going and doing that more than I would return back to my pillow in 2008. That wasn't a option back then, was that scrolling. And so I can get caught in the thoughts of that actually taking place, where I don't want to set down the intensity and I stay with it and I let my thoughts run, and then I try to distract myself through social media or TV, or for some people it may be alcohol or cannabis, whatever the outlet is for a different person. And the practice of sitting in Zazen, the practice of returning back to stillness and silence, and especially doing it in Sangha, that we get to train at setting down the weight of what our thoughts will create, fight or flight in my body. It'll create judgments, it'll create beliefs about things that are all made up, and they're all made up from the thinking. Because whether it is financial, whether it is in relationship, I can get spun out with me and Amber together, and if something's not right, that I feel it deep in my body, and I have a hard time centering myself and regrounding myself so that I'm not attached to it because I'm so deeply connected to her. And so by sitting in Zazen, by sitting in stillness and silence, especially on a regular basis, that you can develop the skill to not always hold the intensity that you may be experiencing from the world. There's a lot happening in the world right now, and that to be able to set that down, especially in a group where we can collectively practice at sitting still, that practice of that softens your body so you're not always in this fight or flight state. You're not always in an emotional trigger. And for some people, emotions run wild, and can you settle down into your emotions and feel them but not let them take you over? So sitting in Zazen, that our job is to set down the weight of what our thoughts create and return back to our hara. Return back to your body and remember what that feels like to not be holding on to them and let them go. And your thoughts run naturally. It's all part of a human experience. And if I can bring my attention down to my lower part of my abdomen, it actually lets go of the thoughts and frees up my energy in my body to run freely at whatever's happening naturally instead of from this place of what the thinking makes up. And so it happens to everybody, and being neurodivergent, man, it stacks them on top of each other and just layers them really fast. And that it's really been a centering, really been a practice for me to not let those stack up and run my reality by sitting on a daily basis. So whether you're running a company, whether you're working for somebody, if you're in relationship with other people, which I hope you are, that you don't let the thoughts run off and create what's happening in your body, and you settle back down into your hara and be present with who you're with or what you're doing. And that practice is like a muscle. You can develop it and get better and better at it. And it's not that you're going to fix it or it's going to be cured. It's about having a tool that you can use. And there's lots of other tools. I've talked about getting wet and in water is one of those tools. When I sit down and I can't do it just from my breath, I'll go either in the hot tub or cold plunge or the ocean, and it balances me out and centers me back into my body so I'm not carrying the weight of what my mind creates as my reality or what I'm holding on to. It can feel like the world's on my shoulders and I'm holding that intensity. And when I drop down into my hara and I let myself sit with what is present and aware in front of me and not in the future or in the past, then I can truly be present in this moment and be connected to all of you and be connected to even Sunny being in Thailand. I can feel him and be in relationship with him in this stillness and silence. We used to go on long walks together and have that connection side by side. Sunny, I'll never forget those walks, and so I can still feel that energy between the two of us, you know, and that. And you know, the example of sitting in sauna together, Dexter, when me and you get that time to be together, I can really feel that, where I can let go of what I am normally thinking in the future or the past naturally, and I can be present with you. And I get to do it with Amber. We get our hot tub time in the morning, and that's a special time for me to really drop in and be connected with her. And sometimes we talk about some of those things, but really a lot of the times it's in stillness and silence. So by practicing daily, by sitting in Sangha, we get the opportunity to set down the weight of what we normally carry, whether you're aware of it or not, but your body knows. And so we're all practicing this together, and I honor sitting in Sangha as a group, and that we get to practice this and sit with this, the egregore that's created through a group sitting together. So thank you for being here, and I really feel honored. So next Tuesday, we're going to have Sangha, and I have some people flying in from the East Coast and from Maui and from Colorado, because on Wednesday I am doing my ordination ceremony for being a Roshi and stepping into that. And so on Tuesday night, I wanted to, for our sitting, we're going to have a larger group, and I wanted to invite all of you to have a potluck here after our sitting. And so if you guys can bring a dish to share, and we'll have a nice group that I really look forward to introducing to you to some of the most important people in my life. And they're coming from all over, that they're coming for Wednesday to support me in this transmission with my dad and my mom. So potluck next week. Feel free to bring a dish, and we'll put it inside, and then we'll have some food together after, and some food. It won't go real late, but definitely want to invite, and anybody who you want to invite to come is more than welcome to come and join us also. So I look forward to if you can come and stay for it, and if you can't bring a dish, just go ahead and show up anyways and join us. I'd love for you to meet the people that are coming, and also for them to meet you, because I talk a lot about you guys, of how much you mean to me. So thank you. And you will be with us. Hopefully you two can make it next week and sit with us. It'll be a nice group of 10 to 12 people, and we'll definitely have our time together. So, all right. When we're finished up, go ahead and fluff your pillow up, dust off the zafu of any lint on it, and you can leave it right where it is. I'll go ahead and put them away. Thank you for joining us tonight. And again, you can always go to dojox.co and get my meditation manual that I give away for free. You can print it out. It's in color. Me and Amber worked on it for a good amount of time, and it's a beautiful art piece along with a manual on how to meditate and what we actually do here. And I do have a mailing list that you can sign up for too, for a weekly reminder newsletter that has the link attached in it also. Oh, he can't hear. Okay, gotcha. Sorry. Can you hear me all right, Sonny? Okay. Kavika, you can't hear me? Nope, he can't hear me. Okay. Sorry, Kavika. I will send you the recording. All right? All right. So we're going to go ahead and start our next 10 minutes. We're doing our 10-minute sitting right now. And thank you for being here. Let's go ahead and begin.